are the stories we tell ourselves. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us for our 5th annual Correcting the Narrative celebration. This time an entire week of events, so we're pretty exhausted. So I'm glad to be at this point. My name is Shannon Ross. I am the founder of the community. And I want to start out by giving a really significant shout out to Ascendium. It's been our presenting sponsor. The last 2 years, Ascendium has really made this possible. And their work is on the program. Some of you have the QR codes in front of you, so you can kind of see the work that they do by their website. And so that's just really something that we've been really grateful to have that support from them to make this possible the week, and like I said, last year's. Also want to give a huge shout out to one of our key partners for the whole week. We did some other events with them this year. UWM, specifically yes, it's been a lot for everyone, and so I've really been grateful for the Student Experience and Talent Department in coming in, especially Ben Traeger and Dr. Rebecca Conkle. Thank you so much for all the doors and the patience and last-minute copies that you've provided so we can make this possible. We have another number of other sponsors I also want to recognize. We've had Molina Healthcare, McNeely Prison Education Consortium, Collectivo Coffee, Better Philanthropies, and Mastantuano Coffee and Thomas Law. I want to just stop and also give another shout-out to Craig Mastantuano. This year was a key part of getting Andre Williams released. He also was a key part of getting Bear Walker released. Knowing more of the backstory and how much work it was, it's just something that needs to be recognized and held up, because getting people free shouldn't be as difficult as it is when they clearly should not be locked up. So, for his pro bono support and his really support for the work we do. Every year, he's been one of the only sponsors, maybe the only one, I think. Yeah, only one we've had every year. So again, very much thank you, Craig. So our team, if you know me, you know I'm a lot of randomness and chaos and a lot of different things. And so the good with the bad of my brain. And it doesn't go anywhere. It wouldn't be anywhere if it weren't for the people that are always around me to be able to put me in place, make sure my shoes are tied, make sure I've had breakfast, which is usually about 6 o'clock at night. And so I can't be more grateful for my team that we have right now. We have about 8 of us now. We've got Emma Ramirez, Kelly O'Keefe, Jen Vega, Callie Ward, Beth Koenig, Nikki Dockstader, and Carl Fields. Dan Wright as well, who made it here. It's unfortunate for the conference that Ben was going to go to. We want him to go there, but glad to have him here at the merch table. And then so many volunteers as well. We've had a lot of people just stepped in when folks didn't show up for some of our events this week. So again, so grateful for all of that. If you're new to our work, I'm curious, for those that are in the audience, did anyone attend any of the other events that we had this week, the other 7 that we had? Raise your hands. Couple? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, no, I really appreciate that, and I hope that you got something from it, and I hope you filled out some of the surveys that we had, because we very much need to have that feedback to kind of do better what we're doing, right? The work that we do exists in an ecosystem, and the currently projects that we have are Correcting the Narrative work, which is this space, and our pre-entry work. And some folks know the story, but the whole organization started in 2014, back when I was just writing a newsletter on a top bunk in Stanley, Wisconsin. And from that first newsletter, which says our purpose is to connect, which is still our purpose now, we just put out our 50th newsletter. Thank you. I was not even aware of it until Kelly messaged me and said, it's the 50th newsletter. I'm like, what's the point? Because I'm not a celebrator, and so kind of the rest of the team made me realize, that's actually a significant milestone. So, very much same purpose we have is to connect. The work that we do inside is, I think, something that I always want to try to highlight, because we just try to meet people where they are, and I think in this space we're always trying to deal with folks that want to dehumanize those that have a record, dehumanize those that are system impacted, and they don't really realize that you can't make students, you can't make parents, you can't make employees, you can't make anything off of people who've never seen themselves as human beings and who've never been treated as human beings. And so at the bare bones, what we try to do is we're just trying to instill agency and empowerment in human beings and let them decide their own path, because they're going to only decide their path way better than anybody else's, right? And they're going to decide a sustainable path because they know what they need. So that's still the core of what we do with all of our pre-entry work. The other side of our work is our correcting the narrative work. And we have a number of different events that we do around trying to just create experiences for people to engage with our population better, to see this issue better, to see this work differently. And we've had 7 of them throughout the week. We had criminal legal system simulations. We've had prison birth simulations, which people always hear and they're like, what is that? That sounds crazy. What happens to women inside is crazy. So like that's a very real thing that we should be talking about. But we say correcting the narrative instead of changing the narrative, because I always try to find a way to make this example, and so bear with me if it's not hitting home. I have a math brain sometimes about it, and I think of an equation. 1 + 1 is 2. And you think of the equation 1 plus, there's nothing there, and then equals 1. But you're missing a number in there. And that number is what we're trying to hit at. We're trying to show people the agency, the potential, the abilities of people that have criminal records. And so in doing that work, we have to explore and show people who we are one-to-one. And it's a difficult work, because it's not like Habitat for Humanities. It's not where we have breast cancer awareness, something that people hear, and it's very easy to pull them in and have interest. And we have to try to address the fact there's a very difficult, traumatic, and painful things that have been caused by those of us that are in this work. And that creates a lot of opportunities to have these conversations. And so we'll just ask people to really try to create opportunities where we can come in, other organizations can come in, and just present who we are in a different light. So for those that have done that before, very much appreciate the doors you've opened for us and to be able to engage with more people in this work. Now, one of the key partners that we've had throughout the week as well has been the MPEC Consortium. And I just want to talk a little bit about McNeely Prison Education Consortium. We have 2 consortiums in the state. The theme of the whole week has been learning is liberation. And, you know, I look at this issue as both a health issue and it's an education issue, right? Health for people who are healthy don't commit crimes and they don't go back to prison. So that's a very basic underlying element of it. But also, how do we find our way out of that? Education. And so we have a series of schools in the McNeely Prison Education Consortium who have been providing higher education opportunities for people who are in prison and post-release. There's also another consortium, PEI, in the state, and they work together. It's kind of a really beautiful thing to see them try to create these opportunities for people inside. So just really wanted to highlight all the wonderful work that they've been doing. We also have in that the schools that we are recognizing, not really recognizing, they're selecting somebody. And so it's not just about higher education, it's about all education. I think what gets lost in that a lot is adult basic education. And so Literary Services of Wisconsin is here, and they're one of the organizations that has selected somebody. And we really want to honor and highlight that difficult period of, from the very beginning, that you can't have a potential ending if you don't have a beginning. So it's that whole continuum of education. And so in that, we have Wisconsin Literary Services, we have MATC tonight, who's honoring somebody, also a member of the McNeely Prison Education Consortium. We have WIA, which is the only school in the state that has a bachelor's degree program in the prison system. Currently, an entire school, actually, they have like a guidance counselor and a dean and everything. And so just kind of continuing with that flow, we have the event. So the last thing I'll talk about is all the different symbolism that you maybe have not seen or have recognized. The pendants that are right here. The pendants were created by the artwork by a currently incarcerated person in South Carolina. They were also then designed by a reentry operation in San Diego who refused to take money for it. And so Rise Up Industries, I kind of want to, even though they're not here, I'd like to give a round of applause for Rise Up Industries because it was really a beautiful thing. We also have system-impacted talent in a variety of areas. The catering by Heaven's Table. Jason Alston got his pardon a couple years ago, formerly incarcerated. The desserts were the Just Bakery in Madison, which is a reentry organization that provides opportunities to learn culinary skills to people who are formerly incarcerated. We have the designs and the very large photo backdrop that you all saw that was much larger than we thought we were purchasing, but it's good. It's not a bad thing. Better than being too small. That was designed by a formerly incarcerated vendor as well. We have the elements around, yes, the graduation stoles that we oftentimes wear. I'm not sure if we're going to have them tonight. We think we've misplaced them, so just there's an element around that we'll have to have that's in the program. So we'll work with that, so just kind of be frank about that right now. Then the artists are all formerly incarcerated tonight, so just that kind of the same theme, right? We try to really highlight as many times as we can system-impacted talent and possibilities. Before I introduce our first speaker, I want to talk to two what I think are really powerful stories around correcting the narrative. About 2 years ago, I spoke about an example that I've been given permission to share, so I kind of share it a lot because I think it's huge. So I was at the wedding for our director of correcting the narrative, Carl, and Brittany, and John Tate at the time was the pro chair. And he stood up and he gave a story about how it was meeting Carl numerous years before he became the pro chair that opened his mind and his eyes to how many more Carls are inside. And so when the opportunity came to have that job, he let out hundreds. And the experience of one person with another person who was system impacted led to hundreds more getting out. So I think that's a perfect example of what's possible when we just lean in, tell our story, and engage in what's possible, as a system impacted person. The other one was very recent, and I've been, again, given permission to tell this story. We all know Adam, right? It's a disappointment to our city, but he's here, so we all... And so he recently has become the director of the Office of Community Wellness and Safety. It was a very controversial pick. And one of the things that came, we had a lot of conversations, me and Adam, about before he took it and afterwards, and how to deal with the whole slew of things that were coming at him. And there was a powerful story that happened one time. He was at a news station, and there was a woman who was just really, I guess, nervous, to say the least, to meet him because something in her past tied to Adam's past. Not their connected actual experiences, but something that, in Adam's crime was related to what happened to her. And they ended up talking, and she went from being someone who couldn't even sit in the room with someone like Adam to now coming here tonight to be our first speaker to talk about her experience. And I think that's a very, very powerful example of how if you lean in, you be yourself as a system-impacted person, sometimes beautiful things happen. Not always, but I think it's the only way you can do this work. So with that, I want to introduce our first speaker. Sarah Heidenreiter is the Assistant News Director at Fox 6, and I'm very honored to have to introduce her.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you to Shannon and his team for this amazing opportunity. It's an honor and a privilege I do not take lightly. And congrats to those being honored tonight. You have put the work in, and you should absolutely celebrate that. Everyone in this room took different paths in life, but one thing has brought us all here together tonight: the simple fact that we believe in change. Whether it's change we prompted or something in which we were forced to react, everyone in this room trusts that change is possible. Sometimes we know change is coming, like when the seasons shift from warm summer breezes to those crisp fall nights, and we know winter's right around the corner. Or the changes that inevitably happen as we age. Bodies ache from simply getting out of bed, or the fact that you have to carry around a travel pack of Tums because everything gives you heartburn. Other times, change hits you like a Mack truck, and you don't even have time to brace yourself. 28 years ago, my life changed forever. My dad was shot and killed point blank by a man who ultimately turned the gun on himself. Tonight, this moment, is the first time I'm talking publicly about my father's homicide. The thing is, had I been asked to do this a year ago, heck, even 6 months ago, I would have likely said no. But you know what? Feelings change and evolve, and so do people. Now I'm standing in front of you all, hundreds of strangers, ready to share the most tragic moment in my life because it's important to me that my dad lives on. Russell Daniel Smith did not die in vain. My dad worked third shift at the U.S. Post Office branch downtown on St. Paul. He'd worked that overnight shift for nearly 20 years and really enjoyed it. He was the cook in the family. From spaghetti and homemade soups to beef stew and stuffed peppers, we ate really well in the Smith household. My younger brother and I liked our dad working third shift too. He was home to see us off to school in the morning and was there when we got off the bus. That is until December 1997. I had just turned 16 and got my driver's license. I inherited my parents' 1979 Pontiac Bonneville. That thing was a big tan-colored boat, nothing but metal. But it was freedom, and I could not have been happier. My brother was 12, doing all the things a preteen boy would do: sports, hanging with friends, getting into trouble. My mom was decorating for Christmas, checking our gift lists, making sure we would have a memorable holiday. But all of that changed forever the night of December 18th, 1997. I was at the kitchen table doing homework when my dad left for work. I barely looked up when I said goodbye. My dad went to work that night and never came home. The night started out for him as it always did. My dad sorted mail to dozens of zip codes around Milwaukee. The circumstances surrounding the events of that night are cloudy, even speculation, but at the end of the day, it doesn't take away from the facts. At some point in the overnight hours, one of my dad's coworkers pulled out a 9mm handgun and started shooting. Ultimately, he shot 3 people: a supervisor who had recently written him up for sleeping on the job, a coworker who got hit in the foot as he was running for safety, and my dad. As another coworker, Mike, quickly realized what was happening, he begged the man to stop shooting. Mike pleaded with the gunman to let him drag my dying father to another area. There, he covered my dad's face and let him die peacefully as he bled out. Mike asked the gunman to think about his wife and newborn child. An MPD officer eventually got on the scene and confronted the gunman, telling him to drop the gun. The man put the barrel in his mouth and pulled the trigger. It was one of the first workplace shootings, before those sadly became more mainstream. It was a workplace shooting that inflated people's use of the phrase "going postal." It was always said as a joke, something I'll never find funny. My mom, brother, and I have lived nearly 3 decades with this tragedy. We've overcome people's perceptions of how we should be. We've battled the odds and lived full lives, despite this lingering dark cloud. But how could I ever forgive the man who took the patriarch of our family so tragically? I can't. That man never got the chance to prove he wanted better. He never lived a reformed life to show he was more than that horrific crime. He never put in the work. He ended his life that night, just like my dad's, and will never be able to answer the what if. As Shannon mentioned, I work at a local television station, and it was a little more than a month ago when my colleague and I decided we'd reach out to Adam Purcell, the person appointed to lead the Milwaukee Office of Community Wellness and Safety, for a podcast we were recording about violence in the city. As I did research ahead of the episode, I found myself baffled. How could someone convicted of murder be chosen for such a role? I thought about how dumbfounded I would likely be if, say, the man convicted of killing my dad was chosen for a similar position. I even questioned how I, the daughter of a homicide victim, could get through a conversation about violence in the city. Adam graciously came on the podcast, knowing we wouldn't shy away from the tough questions. While Adam didn't kill my dad, he did take the life of another person. Could I separate all of that and have a meaningful conversation with Adam? When I say those 45 minutes were life-changing for me, I'm not being dramatic. Part of the podcast included an interview with the victim's father, who not only forgave Adam, but even spoke in favor of Adam at his parole hearing. I left that recording with eyes opened, having a better understanding of what's needed to make sure the cycle does not repeat itself, that we as a society need to hope and want better. One thing Adam said that really stuck with me, and I'm paraphrasing, if people coming out of prison say they want to change and be better, and their actions are proving they want to reform, and we don't believe them or give them the resources, we can't be surprised when they go out and reoffend. The theme for tonight's celebration and this week's events, Learning is Liberation, suddenly hits a little harder for me. In the last month, I've started a new chapter in my healing, understanding that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. But if we don't at least give ourselves and others the option of a safer, healthier future, with the chance to change how we live, what is our purpose? In a few weeks, I'll flip the calendar to December, and inevitably, my chest will tighten. It's happened every year since he died. But this time feels different. And why not celebrate all the gifts given to me, the chance to use my grief for good? Author Adam Grant said, moving forward after loss is not about erasing sorrow. It's about gaining perspective. We lost so much when my dad was tragically taken from us all those years ago. However, as long as I am allowed on this earth, I will live with an amazing perspective that I'll continue to share. My loss can also be my gain. I never had the opportunity to see someone come out successfully on the other side. I never got the chance to see the change, to see the possibility. We can right the wrongs. We hold the pen to our life's book. We can be the change. Meeting Adam and Shannon wasn't an accident. I truly believe God puts people in our paths for a reason. He knows when the timing is right. He knows when we need to be challenged, and he knows when we can rise. Every day you wake up is a gift. It's a new chance to be the best version of you, to prove there's purpose, to share your insight, your love, and your talents with others. Don't ever take that for granted. If you think you have nothing for which to be grateful, check your pulse. Thank you again, and congrats to the honorees.
Now introducing Carr Fields, the community's Director of Correcting the Narrative.
Good evening, everybody. I certainly didn't ask for that music, but I appreciate it. It speaks to my style. Tonight, I get the opportunity, and I'm humbled to introduce the first honoree, named Sharita Rayford, and who was selected by the Education Preparedness Program.
My name is Sharita Rayford. I was incarcerated for 20 years. Since my release, I have been really busy working in the community. I started off working with youth for preventative purposes. My childhood growing up, I have been through different things, and so a part of what I wanted to do was give back to the youth and do anything that I could to prevent youth from going down some of the paths and having some of the struggles that I had. I am proud of graduating with my bachelor's. That was a big achievement. It was hard work. I had many different barriers that I had to face. After doing 20 years, I was stuck with technology. That was like one of my biggest hurdles. I'm proud of how I've adjusted in society, especially after 20 years. There's so many different things that I didn't know and so many experiences that I didn't have, like as far as working and navigating the work life and those things, so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of my relationships with my family. For so long, I was away, and I really wanted to be with my family and be a part of them again. I knew that I would be released one day, and so I knew that I wanted to be as best prepared as I could. And so while I was incarcerated, I took any classes that I could take. And so education it's something that people can't take from you, and it just opened my mind in different ways that other people didn't or wouldn't. It has just helped me see different things. It gave me new perspective. It's given me confidence. It has helped teach me things that I don't feel like I would have learned otherwise. It's a lot of stigma that goes along with being incarcerated. And sometimes I feel like people kind of look at you like lower than. And so correcting the narrative for me is just setting the record straight that you can go from incarceration and come home and do well, that you can be successful, that you can change, that you can be like anybody else. People wouldn't know I was incarcerated unless I told them. Like, correcting the narrative is just kind of being a part of society and thriving as best as I can. Marquette has been an amazing chapter in my life. One of the things, the education preparedness program that we have there, so I'm honored to be a part of that because just giving back to those incarcerated. I understand what it means to want to go to school and need an education, and so it's a gift, and I'm appreciative to even be a part of that. When I went to Marquette, I was at a place in my life where I was ready for growth and development, and they were ready for me. And since I've been there, it's just kind of been humble and grateful to be there because they believe in me and see me for more than my incarceration or for more than my past. And that means a lot, especially when you deal with the stigmas every day, because not everyone, society isn't all that forgiving.
Sharita will be presented with her honor from Alex Gambacorta and D.A. Kent Laverne. I can personally tell you, having worked with Sharita for a number of months now, as genuine goes, she's one of the most genuine persons I've ever met in this work, and I appreciate having that in the work and in the space with me in this community.
My name is Alex Gambacorta. I'm the program manager for Marquette's prison education program, the Education Preparedness Program. Sharita Rayford is one of the most selfless people I've ever encountered. Whew. We have witnessed her generosity expand to strangers, her family, our team, and the young people she stays in contact with to mentor and support. We have the honor to work alongside her every day and witness her passion working with incarcerated women who often get left behind in resources, programming, and recognition. Sharita always reminds us, don't forget about the women. Sharita will be going into Robert E. Ellsworth Correctional Center next semester to teach non-credit programming. Yes. Something that she's pushed us to do. Sharita, thank you for being part of our team, for all you do, and for accompanying currently and formerly incarcerated students on their pathway to college. We're so thrilled that you're being recognized with this award, and we are so proud of you.
Hey y'all, so a little emotional, I guess that's a lot to be emotional about, right? So for those of you that know me know I'm really kind of a lady of very few words, I just kind of sit and, peacefully quiet, but I do want to just thank everybody, my team for, seeing me even in my quiet, seeing my passion and what I really want to do. It's like, I really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that I've been working with and been in community with, and we just been supporting each other. Like, it's been a ride. It's been a journey. I've come a long way, and education has been key. It's been, education is liberation. I know I probably don't have a lot of time, but like a quick story. So even when I was younger, I guess I always kind of been fairly decent at school. So when I went to high school, I was in all honor classes, and I had this teacher that used to push me very hard. She always used to push me. She used to get on my nerves. We used to get into it. And I just she just used to take my lunch periods and everything. And so when I went away and while I was incarcerated, it was the many people that I could have thought of. But that lady, Miss Flores, I thought of her over and over. And I realized, like, she saw something in me, and she wanted to, she was pushing me to achieve or be what she saw me to be. And just recently, I've, found her on this great Facebook, and I had a conversation with her today, this morning, and I was able to let her know that all those years that she worked and she pushed me, I see it. I didn't understand it as a kid, but I did. And she was in the hospital, so I'm like, she's an older woman. I don't know, what that turns out to be, but if it was nothing else but faith for her to know that all her works, it paid off, and I guess even in my quietness, it pays off. So thank y'all so much.
Congratulations, Sharita. Also wanted to highlight this evening that Sharita, being our first honoree accepting her award, each and every honoree is going to be given and presented with a particular gift. Her gift is a trip to the Baker Center in San Francisco. So congratulations for that as well. All right, next up, and the first of our music collaboration, Sawyer Gibson.
I go by the name of Sawyer Gibson. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Yeah. I've been going hard every day of the week. I've been going hard in these streets, I've been going hard every day of the week. I'm on it, yeah, I'm on it. I don't wanna let my people down. I'm on it, yeah, I'm on it. I don't wanna let my people down. I had to sit down and see my mama cry. And no, they ain't that cool. I had to sit down and look at my daddy cry. I lost 2 brothers before high school. Why does it seem like it gives the hardest time to the ones who ain't got nothing to live for? I wish I could wake up and make everyone okay. I wanna make sure all of my people okay. I've been going hard every day of the week. I've been going hard in these streets, Clap with me, y'all. Every day of the week, 'cause I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. I don't wanna let my people down. I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it. I don't wanna let my people down. I wake up and do shit I don't wanna do. 'Cause I want a Bentley and Benz, a coupe. I want a house on the beach too. Like 2 or 3 for my people. Wish I could be in the light with 3 buckle 5s. know I want my brothers with me. I wanna hop on the jet, make $1 million check, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, day of the week, 'cause I'm on it, yeah, I'm on it, yeah, I'm on it, I'm on it. I don't wanna let my people down. I'm on it, yeah, I'm on it. I don't wanna let my people down.
Thank you. Again, thanks for everybody coming out. I want to give a shout out to Shannon for inviting me. Appreciate you.
Okay. So our next honoree is not here tonight. It's a good example of the determination of a person to make it. He got called into work. It's as simple as that. There's also an element to it, though, I want to highlight where we have the imposter syndrome, a lot of us that are formerly incarcerated, and I don't know if that's the case in this situation, but I know it's something I've seen a lot where people feel like they don't deserve something, they don't deserve to be honored, they don't deserve this moment. I just want to highlight that for those that are here, because it's something to be aware of, right? And I think a friend of all of ours in the work, Terrell Blunt, talks a lot about how imposter syndrome comes from the way we're talked about, right? The language used to talk about us as inmates, as ex-cons, as criminals, and the language we then carry ourselves in that same way. And so we talk a lot about steroid carrying at our organization, and just want to put that out there as an example of you do deserve these things. If you're formerly incarcerated, if you're impacted, it's nothing you don't deserve. And we're going to watch a video from Tanzel, and we're going to honor him with the people that came tonight to present him with the honoree. So we'll still go through the same process, and we'll get that, and there's a recording that he'll get, so it'll all still be as powerful, hopefully.
My name is Tanzel Norman. I was incarcerated for 66 months, which is 5.5 years. Since release, I've been going to school, working, spending time with my kids, staying focused. I'm proud of the change in me overall as far as mental, physical, the way of life. Education helped me see things better. It helped me become better as a person, as a man. It helps me stay out of trouble. It helps me think straight and stay on the right path. Normally when I have conversations with people who have records or who just got released, they normally feel that they can't do something or they can't achieve certain things. So I tell them that anything is possible, that I'm living proof. And people that's also incarcerated right now, you know, I try to tell them that you gotta do the time and not let the time do you. I obtained an associate's degree while in prison, and I got out, and I'm also furthering my education with a CNC technician. You can't let no one tell you no, and you can't think that you can't do something because of who you were. MATC helped me a lot. I actually got good people that helps me, you know, with anything, everything that I need. Help make sure I get to class on time, make sure I'm in class every day. It just keeps a smile on my face. I love it.
Tanzel Norman is being honored, and the honoree is being presented by Michael Lozano from MATC and Chief Judge Carl Ashley. As they come up, I want to talk a bit about Tanzel's gift. So Tanzel, his kids are in town for a while, and he's getting a family night at the Bucks. He's getting a suite to spend time with his kids, who he hasn't had a lot of time with, and his girlfriend. And so he's aware of this, so he will be receiving that.
Give me a second. I had a little speech for him. So good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Lozano, and I have the privilege of serving as the Correctional Education Coordinator for Milwaukee Area Technical College Second Chance Pell Program. Over the past few months, I've had the honor of meeting an individual whose journey embodies the very spirit of resilience, transformation, and hope. From the moment of his release, this man set out on a mission, not just to change his own life, but to inspire those around him. I first met Tenzel Norman in July, just days after his release and only a few days before his birthday. When he walked into my office, I immediately saw something powerful in his eyes, determination. He shared his story with me and said words I'll never forget. I want something different, and I can't go back to that life. Those words marked the beginning of a new chapter. In the days that followed, we explored opportunities and ultimately landed on a CNC program, a path that matched his focus and his drive. From there, I introduced him to instructors, financial aid, and scholarship representatives, people who, like me, believed in his potential. And then I did what any good teammate would do. I passed the ball. Like Kobe to Shaq, MATC provided the space, the resources, and the support system. But Tenzel, he did the rest. Because at the end of the day, success is built on partnership. Today, Tenzel's journey represents exactly what MATC stands for: transforming lives, empowering students, and strengthening our community. It is with great pride and deep honor that I present this award to Mr. Tenzel Norman, a man who proves that second chances aren't just given, they're earned.
All right, so our next honoree is Nicholas Henderson, and we get a chance to learn about him, and then he'll come up and speak.
My name is Nicholas Henderson. Well, I was incarcerated. I was back and forth from jail, so I did probably 9 months to 10 months, and then another 10 months and 9 months, so I was like back and forth. Since release, I've been at home with the kids. I've been working, taking care of the family, been trying out new things, so I've been making custom rugs. So if you send me a picture of anything that you like, and I can, make it into a rug. I'm proud of the fact that I've been, been staying out of trouble. I've been able to, provide for my family and, be a role model for my kids. I've been setting goals and, achieving goals. Correcting the narrative means to me that you always got time to better yourself and become a better person. Just because you went through something in life don't mean like it's the end for you. You can always, correct those things and become a better person. It helped me become a better decision maker. It helped me really by, letting me understand that it's not too late to really achieve the goals. As far as like my artwork, I do a lot of artwork. I feel like I make a lot of good items, and I think they should be able to sell. I actually do music. I'm good with making beats and recording. Literacy service really gave me the confidence to understand that no matter how old you get, that it's never too late to better yourself as a person.
Nicholas was selected by the Literary Services of Wisconsin, and his award is going to be presented to him by Holly McCoy and his Assistant Chief of Police, Nicole. There she is, Nicole Wall. Thank you, Nicole. And his gift is $1,000 towards his rug business, which are fabulous, by the way, just like the C that you see in the lobby there.
Thank you. So Literacy Services of Wisconsin has 9 locations, and we do a lot throughout Milwaukee and Waukesha and Racine. We have hundreds of graduates every year, and when I sent a call out to our staff, I said, Shannon and Adam are doing their awards. We've come every year since the first year. So I said, and this year they're looking at education. Who should we select? Right away, our staff member, Mikkel, who really should be up here. She actually is at another event that we have with our partner, MATC, tonight, so she couldn't be here. But she was right away. She said, Nicholas. I said, oh, okay. So I have Mikkel's words on why she chose Nicholas, because, again, she was very sure. So what stands out most is his impact beyond academics. He has grown into a confident communicator, now able to participate in group discussions and advocate for not only himself, but his children in school settings. I feel strongly that Nicholas's transformation has ripple effects. He inspires his family, uplifts his community, and sets an example for others who may feel stuck or discouraged. And in Nicholas's words, so when our students graduate, they have to write a letter to DPI that explains their educational journey. Because when you get a high school diploma from the state of Wisconsin, it's a competency-based program, and the state wants to better understand why are you completing your high school diploma in this way. So Nicholas's words are, now I feel like a rock tumbling down from the peak of the tallest mountain. I don't think I'm ever going to stop striving towards my goals. After I graduate, I plan on starting college and pursuing my business and entrepreneurship. As we all saw, very talented. I will also take up the trades to help me work in the field while I'm working on my dreams. I want to own my own trucking business and custom design stores. After completing this program, I feel there's no limit to what's next for me. My motivation has been boosted 1,000%. Give a round of applause for Nicholas.
I ain't write a speech or anything. I don't really have too much to say, but I just want to thank my kids for coming out and supporting me. Thank Michelle, Literacy Service for selecting me as an honoree. And appreciate you, Shannon, for supporting my relatives. So.
Okay, so before I introduce our next on-stage performance honoree, I want to highlight there are 7 to 8 seats in this row. They are for the people that cannot be here. So they are specifically for those that are incarcerated, those that maybe were incarcerated that are no longer alive. If there's anything that you want to write or put it there, we can make sure it gets to those people inside in our newsletter. So I wanted to make sure that's recognized. That was a donation by Steve Sand. So thank you, Steve, for highlighting that. People that aren't here should also be recognized. Next, we have, the name is not right in the program. Apologies. Roy kind of tricked me because he switched the name up like after we did the program. So it is the Onesimus Returns. This is their first official, I guess you could call it a gig. It's more of a, brothers helping a brother out, because this is every year Roy's been a part of what we do and been an honoree the second time. So I am very, very honored to introduce Onesimus Returns.
How y'all doing this evening, tonight? Now, y'all can relax. We all family up in here, so we ain't got to act like we strangers, right? So, so if y'all hear something, the sound is low or too high, y'all make some noise. Y'all let us know, because we don't believe in form or fashion, right? We want to make sure that the message is heard. So, I'm Roy. This is Walter, Dr. Who Smith. We are Onesimus Returns. Actually, we are a delegation of Onesimus Returns. We are the musical arm of the organization called the Onesimus Group, Milwaukee. Just want to give you a brief history of the name Onesimus Returns as I start Mr. Ward off on his music here. Over a decade ago, there was a brother by the name of Tom McMahon. He was a volunteer with the Salvation Army, a Christian who came into prisons, and he served for a very long time. And one day he came to the Stanley Correctional Institution, maybe around 2015, and he said he had a vision. He had a vision. He said he was looking at the men that was in the choir. I know there was a Frank Pendergast, a Michael Moore. There was a whole bunch of men in this choir. And Tom said that he had a vision that he saw us out in the community singing and performing. And he said that the name that we was under was the name called Onesimus Returns. Now, they might not seem like much, but the men that Tom was talking to were men who were serving life terms, men who were serving number of years, extreme sentences, and it was quite a long way away before any one of them, including myself, were to return home. And actually, some of us never knew if we would return. But little by little, one by one, each man that was a part of that team began to return back to the community. So we bring music that helped shape a sound that was on the inside. We believe that we are the sound of re-entry right here. These are the sounds that encourage the men to help them get through many things. And so this is what we present to you, music made by us and for us. You good on that mic, Who? Somebody want to give Who some sound here? There you go, Doc.
I didn't see it.
There you go.
I didn't see the button to turn it on.
It's new technology, Who?
It's a new technology.
day. There are loving words that Jesus would have me to speak. There may be right now in the paths of sin some lost wanderer whom I should see. Oh, Savior, if you be my guide, though dark the path and rugged the way, my voice shall echo your message so clear. Oh Lord, I'll say what you want me to say. I'll go where you want me to go, dear Lord. Yes, I will. Over mountain or plain or sea, I'll say what you want me to say, dear Lord. I'll be what you want me to be.
I'll go where you want me to go, Lord. Yes, I will. Lord, I'll say what you want me to say. I'll do what you want me to do, Lord. Lord, I'll be, yes, I will, what you want me to be, Lord. Here I am, Lord, take me. Lord, won't you take me? Lord, tell me, yeah.
I'll go where you want me to go, dear Lord. Over mountain or plain or sea, say what you want me to say, dear Lord. I'll be what you want me to be. I'll go.
Yeah. Thank you. That was good.
Now we're gonna kick this up just a little bit, Walt. You know.
Let me get it with me. I ain't forgot.
Y'all don't mind if I stand up just for a little bit? All right, now right about now, there should be a slide that's about to be played. But while they are queuing things up, I just want to say that this next song right here, I want to dedicate this song to my Uncle Tiki, Essie Lewis Rogers. He went home to meet the Lord earlier this week, so I'm here with a heavy heart, but I'm glad to be here. I remember during the time in which I was in, my uncle would write, and he would say, "Be strong, nephew, be strong." So I'm here and I'm going to present this song and dedicate it to my Uncle Tiki. You see, when I couldn't see a future, I became a vision. Every locked door became my re-entry. Opposition, it led to opportunity. And I learned to find peace underneath all the pain. And when life tried to swallow me up whole, I grabbed it by the throat and I would not let go. Oftentimes my grip got weak and I felt like letting go. But I remembered the lover of my soul. When I couldn't see a future, I became the vision. Every locked door became my re-entry. Opportunities were met with opposition, but I refused to let it go. When I seen my life spiral out of control, I grabbed on a hand and I wouldn't let go. And I'm thankful that God preserved my mind. So I am here to you to sing this song, because I'm a prisoner of hope. And I refuse to let go. Oh, I'm a prisoner of hope. And I refuse to let go. But I remember the promise that I should be restored double. And I return to my strength, the righteousness of the Lord. When I couldn't see a future, I became the vision. Every locked door became my re-entry. Opportunity was birthed out of opposition. I found peace underneath all the pain. And I'm a prisoner of hope. And I refuse to let go. Y'all can sing it along with me now. You know I said, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm a prisoner of hope. And I refuse to let go. Say, I refuse to let go. Then I remember the promise that I should be restored double. And I return to my strength, the righteousness of the Lord. Listen, y'all. When life tried to swallow me up, swallow me whole, I grabbed it by the throat and I wouldn't let go. Oftentimes my grip got weak, I felt like letting go. But I remembered the lover of my soul. And I'm a prisoner of hope. And I return to my strength, the righteousness of the Lord. Oh, I remember the promise that I should be restored double. And I return to my strength, the righteousness of the Lord. I said I remember the promise that I should be restored double. And I return to my strength, the righteousness of the Lord. Because I'm a prisoner of hope. And I'm a prisoner of hope. And I refuse to let go, refuse to let go. Say, oh, I'm a prisoner of hope. And I refuse to let go. And I refuse to let go. And I remember the promise that I should be restored double. And I return to my strength, the righteousness of the Lord. Oh, and I remember the promise that I should be restored double. Thank you.
Our next honoree is a dear friend of mine, so I was honored to announce him and present this. His name is Diego Rodriguez, and he was selected by UWM.
Hi, I'm Diego Rodriguez. I was incarcerated for 5 years and had 5 years of extended supervision. So since my release, I went to UWM and got my bachelor's in finance and a certificate in real estate. Then I realized I really wanted to start working to make a change, so I started volunteering, helped develop participatory defense in Racine. I shifted work to work as an operations coordinator at the Ostera Initiative, where we support pregnant and parenting people that are experiencing incarceration. And we do that over several states and started our program here in Wisconsin earlier this year. So it is just amazing to be part of those solutions and part of this work. There's a lot that I'm proud of. I think rebuilding relationships with my family. I'm proud of my academic accomplishments. I think that that has been something huge to be able to be in prison and not have any hope or dream, but then to get my associates while I was in prison through the Second Chance Pell Grant program through MATC, and then to get my bachelor's in finance, and then to now be in grad school. Like, that's something I'm proud of. I didn't think that that was possible when I was sitting in my jail cell. Education has helped my freedom in like multiple ways, right? Prior to my incarceration, I was very like black and white thinking, had very narrow view of how life should be, and if you weren't living that way, it was wrong. But education really helped me expand my worldview. One thing that I consider education is just really getting involved in like therapy or psychiatry and experiencing and learning more about your own mental health. That is huge for me because I was able to find out that I do have ADHD, and hey, a little bit of medicine might help you, get to be a little bit more focused at work and stuff. And that has been liberating. And just to be able to have a higher education, to have a specialized skill, whatever level that may be, that empowers you. That's something that can never be taken away from you. So to me, correcting the narrative is extremely important. Society is full of people who do bad things and hurt people one day, and then the next day do some great things and help people. Or vice versa, where they are great, amazing people, but they end up committing a crime and hurting somebody or stealing something. Correcting the narrative is like that moment in that person's life does not narrate the rest of their existence. That moment in their life is just a portion of the story, and their story continues and is being narrated every single moment of every single day with new experiences and new knowledge that comes through. When I was 20 years old, I committed a crime and I hurt people. And I am not the same person I was at 20. What has UWM done for me? That, I think, is a really deep question. I love UWM. I think the first thing that they had done for me was taking a chance on me. I had applied to other schools post-prison, and I would get a denial letter or just nothing in response. And UWM accepted me very quickly. It's a place that I feel seen, I feel heard. I know that diversity is a huge piece there, and I feel included. It was just such an amazing experience to be welcomed with such open arms into a program where I didn't feel like I needed to hide my past. I felt like I could embrace it and use it to help as an engine for my future.
All right, Diego. So, Diego, like I said, dear friend of mine, we've worked together. I too am from Racine. Those of my Milwaukee friends know that I represent Racine when that's the case. His award will be handed to him, and his honor will be by Lori Worley and Neil Thorson. And his gift is $750, and he gets dinner with a very special person. Come on up, Diego.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Worley. I am Program Director of the Peacebuilding Programs at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and I'm honored to be with you tonight to help all of us award Diego Rodriguez for all the work that he's doing. I want to say, as a teacher who's had the opportunity to have Diego in the classroom, Diego's one of those students that when he joined the Master of Sustainable Peacebuilding, that made me realize it's one of many of my students that teaches me more than I could possibly teach him. And I feel honored to have had this opportunity to work with him, and I'm so proud that in May of 2026, he'll receive his master's degree in Sustainable Peacebuilding. Our program is a cohort program, and so of course when I needed to come up with a few words to talk about Diego's impact, I reached out to our students and some of the people who have taught Diego, and I want to read you a few things that he said. Diego, congratulations, this award is so well deserved, and the world is a better place because of your advocacy and peace-building work dedicated to correcting the narrative. This is some of the things that students and staff have said about you. They are proud of you. We are honored to know you. Love. We were starting to describe Diego, intellectual, thoughtful, creative, outspoken, curious, compassionate, patient, sensitive to those around him, full of good humor, although that might have been debated a little bit. That's some of your program members. You are big-hearted, you have humility, you have wide-eyed enthusiasm, and spirited brilliance are your true gifts. A leader whose heart beats for justice. You live your values and show that peace building is not abstract. It's about showing up for those most impacted by systems of harm and doing so with humility, consistency, and care. Ethical leadership, restorative, grounded, courageous, community-centered, humble, and transformative. A quiet strength that invites others in. Resilient, community builder. The world is better with you in it. Dear Diego, again, congratulations from me and from Anastasia White, who's a program coordinator who couldn't be here tonight. We're so glad you're part of the MSP. We love working with you. We can't wait to see what you do when you graduate. And we know that Milwaukee and beyond are better because of your dedication to justice and social change. Congratulations.
I often think about the worst moment of my life at times like this. And I realized I was going to prison, and I went back to my cell, and I literally cried the entire night, right? But I often only focus on that, but then I think about the next day, right? And the next day, I called my mom, and we talked on the phone about what the fuck can I do, right? What can I do? And the first thing was education. And so at the time, they were developing the Second Chance Pell Grant program, and my mom, who raised me right, called the Department of Education, whatever it's called, in Wisconsin, called the DOC, and worked and advocated for me to eventually be the first person in the state to graduate at the Second Chance, with my associates and with the Second Chance Pell Grant program. So I think about what education means, right? And the theme of today is learning is liberation. What learning means, not just education. And I really do see it as liberating, right? To allow me, somebody who is in prison, to think that I could get my associate's degree, to think I could get my bachelor's degree. I remember when I was at MATC in prison, I said, well, I want to study finance. And they said, well, you probably shouldn't because you're never going to get a job in it. And what did I get my bachelor's in? Finance. And what do? Talk about budgets, talk about funding and grants and all that stuff in my full-time work. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge mama's boy, so shout out to Tina, because she is the best person in the entire world and has inspired me to do everything that I do, and inspired me to do my work at Ostera, where we can support mothers and bonds all the time. So if you guys can, donate to osterainitiative.org because the government sucks and doesn't give us as much money as we need, so we need your donations right now. Thank you. And then I also think about my other work with participatory defense, supporting the Joshua Glover Justice Fund, and also just my work with some of my favorite elected officials, my favorite, Caroline Gomez-Tom, Priscilla Prado, and whatnot. But all of that work that I do, every single thing that I do, is literally so mothers and children can stay together. It's not about anything else. It's not about ignoring the crime that people committed. It is strictly so that families can stay together, because family and community is the only thing that will keep our community safer, to keep our economy stronger, and to keep everything better, is literally just family. So if ever you guys want to know why I do what I do, it's because of Tina, sitting right there in the chair, and because of families. So thank you guys.
So I'm in a coalition with Diego, and I can say for sure he is on our ass about finances. So that makes sense. Our next honoree, well, before I do that, I want to highlight a story actually that a friend William Freeman gave yesterday. We have a couple of, what I guess I would call luminaries in the higher education and prison field here from across the country, so very much appreciate a number of my friends that have been able to make it. A lot in the back there, I'm not going to highlight you because I think you want to be chill, but yeah, so one of them came and had to go back because something happened in his family, but he was making a comment about the kind of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the framework of what's most important, right? And there was a 12-year-old he was referring to that was looking at it, and the 12-year-old said, we have to flip that, actually, because I have to believe I can do any of those before any of those are possible, or like as belief was at the top. And I think that speaks so powerfully to narrative work, right? Like you cannot achieve anything if you don't believe you can do it, if you don't see examples of that, right? So underneath, again, all of this, I repeat it a lot, but narrative to me is just so ingrained in the foundation of how we get somewhere. It's not just something you come in to make it better, it is the source of how you get to anywhere. And so I just thought that was a great story to share, and he gave me permission to share that. So our next and final honoree of the night is Robert Lee Alexander, selected by WIA, Wisconsin Education Inmate Association.
My name is Robert Alexander, and I have over half my life in institutions and jails. So how long I was out locked up? A very long time. December 2023, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I didn't know about compassionate release. Someone else actually put in and applied for this for me. I was accepted. But since I've been home, my primary thing has been engaging with my family, engaging with the people around me, trying to express the ideals that I learned, and I've really been proud of myself. And I've been so grateful to God for letting me be proud of myself. Education gives you the opportunity to start thinking different. Like anybody who's done time, the one common thread is coming home and being better than you have been and doing better than you have done. There's no greater way to affect change than teaching somebody and showing them that they are worth more than their predicament or circumstances. Correcting the narrative on a personal level has to be you showing that you are not the person who went to prison. You are not the person on that paperwork. We don't often get in our paperwork the good we do. We always see the bad that we have done. So on a personal level, it's showing people that I'm far more than what I was. On a society level, there has to be an understanding that people can change. When I walk my walk, and I walk my walk with honesty, I walk my walk with truth, I have the opportunity through my walk to be able to show anybody around me that this is real. That what I want for me and what I'm going for, the goals I set for myself, they are real. And I'm worthy of that pursuit. And I'm worthy of your time because now you can see what I'm doing. What has WIA done for me? So first I want to give a shout out to Mike Murphy. And may he rest in peace. Mike, Adam, and WIA, like without them, I don't think I would have made it out of prison healthy and alive. WIA actually helped me have a relationship with God. They've been everything to me. I have a newfound relationship with my family. I'm sitting here with my brother, and me and this man hadn't been in the same room together in over 10 years. It ain't what they did, it's what they doing, bro. I'm still growing. This is just the beginning. I ain't been out a year yet. Catch me this time next year.
So Robert's honorary pendant is being presented by Andrew Murphy, the Executive Director of WIA, and the Warden of Waupun Correctional Institution, Kenya Mason, who is the place, I can speak, right? Who is the warden at the facility where Robert graduated with his degree.
Good evening, everybody. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. There's so many different organizations and people here within the incarcerated space, and it's an honor to have everybody here together amongst all these just wonderful human beings. I serve as the executive director for the Wisconsin Inmate Education Association, and Robert's told me the story many times, but it's a 4-year journey to get through our program. And when he started that journey, he talked about he had this history of self-sabotage, of he didn't want to quit, so he wanted to get kicked out. And so he had this habit of, he got to a point where, they would have classroom discussions and they're all kind of moving in a certain direction. And he had a nickname because of this habit, and they called him Contrary Rob. Because he was the guy who would bring up a monkey wrench in the conversation to try to get some sort of a reaction, to try to get something to happen so that he wouldn't have to quit. He would just get kicked out of the program. But what he didn't realize at the time, and what kind of came to that crossroads, was he's in a program that didn't just care about his mind, but cared about his heart. That wanted to walk with him through that process and patiently work with him. And so I am honored to stand here next to this man who graduated with a bachelor's degree. Not only did he graduate, but he did it in honors as well, on honors. Now, I don't go into the prison as often, and the gentleman who should be up here is Pastor Robin Knoll, who's our Dean of Students. Given his role within the prison system, he's not able to be here because of Robert's release. But I asked him, I said, what would you say to Robert if you could be here tonight? And he said, I hope he knows that we are proud of his achievement, I hope he's as proud of his achievement as I am of him. He worked hard, and he set a great example for others. It's an honor to call him a friend and remind him that his education is not just for him. It's for everybody he meets for the rest of his life. Thank you, Robert.
Well, y'all decided to make me last, so I guess I got to clean it up, right? To the men and the women that came before me, thank you for being so inspiring and giving me something to look forward to. As it said on the screen, the one thing I want to do is be better than I have been and do better than I have done. My goal is purpose, and all I want to do is pursue purpose. And I hope this is a room full of people that I can contact and say to, I think that I'm going after my own thoughts and not my purpose, so pull me in sometime and make sure that I'm following what God wants, not what I want. Along with that, before I, go on about my business, bro, I gotta get your number because my great nephew would love that Spider-Man rug, and I know he will. Straight up. I didn't think that I was supposed to be up here. And then the company I'm up here in, again, I salute y'all. And I didn't think so because when I came home from prison, the only thing I wanted to do was find a way to be involved in somebody else's life. And I was blessed with a phone call from Andrew. And all it was a cup of coffee that I actually went to have with him with my nephew. And it was that moment where I was seeing my nephew watch me communicate about something that I had never been a part of, which was the betterment of somebody else. And having him there, I never wanted him to see me less than what he seen me at that moment. So I say to him, and I say to y'all, today I'm good, not as good as I'll be tomorrow, and not as good as I'll be the day after that. So, I want to close out. Anybody here who's been to prison know that the one thing that we'll say to anybody is, man, all that talking don't mean nothing if you ain't moving it. You know what I mean? And last night I sat down and had a dinner with Andrew and some other people. And I come to the realization that I can't even regret my prison time because my prison led to my blessing. And my blessing was me getting an education that allowed me to see things more clearly, understand myself. I'm no longer a self-sabotager, you know? And with that, man, I'll let the mic be, and we arrest it, right?
Before I bring our last stage person, I don't know what the word for all these individuals would be that makes the most sense, to the stage, I want to highlight the name of the organization, Wisconsin Education and Aid Association. Some of you might have feelings about that. I want to salute Andrew. He's pushed for them to change that name, and that is happening. This is the beginning of that. And so, again, all the conversations we've had and the listening, you know, it works at times, and so I think that should be recognized as well. So our final, actually, yes. So I did not mention that. Sorry, Robert. Your gift is $1,000 scholarships. You will select who the people getting those scholarships is. So we will work out what that means and see if we can make it a long-term thing. So next up is JJ88. I don't know, anyone familiar with Songs from the Hole, the movie? Have you heard of the movie? Okay. We'll see the movie if you haven't. Kelly saw someone yesterday that our pre-intro manager, Kelly, who didn't see it. And she says, you've seen it, right? Are you going to see it tonight, though, right? Like, it was very aggressive about making sure this movie's seen. And it's a great movie. It's a wonderful movie. And I'm not only saying that because JJ is a friend and a fellow Represent Justice ambassador, but because I actually play the music. I like the music, and I'm hoping you all do. I think you will. So, JJ88, so grateful for you to come join us. Welcome to the stage. Oh, from LA, by the way, too, not just down the street.
How y'all doing? There we go. Y'all look good, too. How y'all feeling? I just want to thank Shannon Ross. I want to thank you, bro, for having me. I want to honor the honorees and say congratulations. The work you guys are doing really represents me as a formerly incarcerated person, so thank you for representing us right. And without further ado, I don't want to do too much talking. Let's play some music, yo. Back in my youth, yeah. Back in my youth, they try to bury me. Now I'm the truth, they see my pedigree. I hop out the Benz, something dramatic. I hop out the Benz, right on the landing. My people was bound to cross the Atlantic. Out here you can drown, crossing the Atlantic. You better be smooth before you get sandy. It's sharks on the move, right on the Atlantic. 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 I swim on Atlantic. Check. In the city by the seashore, niggas be throwing shells. Police fish for information just to catch you up and put your ass on the shelf. Sharks lurking in the deep, in the belly of the beast. I'm something like Jonah out in California, life sentences are prophecy. Tribalism's what they teach, never earn an A or B. But drive up Atlantic, in my city, you gon' see them youngins making C's. Keep a pole like they spear fishing, wood grain sticks still wishing. Sweep them away, caught in a wave, watery grave, still swimming. And back in my youth, they try to bury me. Now I'm the truth, they see my pedigree. I hop out the Benz, something dramatic. I hop out the Benz, right on it, right on it, right on it. My people was bound to cross the Atlantic. Out here you can drown, crossing Atlantic. You better be smooth or you get sandy. The sharks on the move, right on Atlantic. Say, Atlantic. Say, hey, here we go. Say, swim on Atlantic. Hey, thank you. So, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. That song says, back in my youth, they tried to bury me. But now I'm the truth, and they see my pedigree. They see our pedigree now, y'all. They tried to keep us inside, we came outside. They tried to keep us from good work, we did more good work. I appreciate the correcting the narrative. Since coming to Milwaukee and being with Kelly and Shannon, I learned about what they're doing about correcting the narrative. On my shirt here, I have something that I wrote when I was in prison. I received a 5-year denial. I had like a ton of good work under my belt. A number of reasons why they could have let me out, and they didn't. They named all the reasons why I couldn't go home. They told me I was a danger, ultimately. And I went back and I wrote this phrase, my shortcomings don't diminish my good. And even though we have shortcomings in our lives, it doesn't diminish the good that exists in us, that existed in us when we did that bad thing. So, in spite of that, in spite of my shortcomings, I do good, and my good has led me to being here now. It has led all of us to being here now, so I'm gonna play a song called Here Now. Yeah. You know, when you got a glow, you kinda gotta keep it on the low, you know? They see the flame on the low like a war heater. I got the blower by the insulation, that's a war heater. Young warlord leader, from my top to my sneakers. Got it locked like the locks in your speakers. D-block, what I Rica, fresh out, really lost in the freedom. Her gold chains and trips to Puerto Rico. When your money new, you know them lines on the prowl like it's high noon. Pigs want my high too, turned a life sentence to a haiku. I grew up shooting dice in day rooms, watching dialbacks turn to DPs by the payphone. Homie, I got homies that's gon' stay gone. Rest in peace, Harvey J. Every day is 4th and long, but you know 80 don't punt. Running through the yards after busting out gallants. Every night I pray, cause first light I'm on the hunt. Baby, I'm a ball even if my height stunt. Practice at the bars, I lead them like a high jump. I deserve a gold medal, you know, Negro Olympians. I danced with them devils, did a couple head spins. They took their pound of flesh and now they owe me dividends. It's evident, none of us never was expected to win. Yeah, but guess what? We here now. Check it. Was up the road, the walk was long. I stood alone on all 10 toes. Paid my dues, I kept it true. They set the trap, I made it through. Was up the road, the walk was long. I stood alone on all 10 toes. Paid my dues, I kept it true. They set the trap, I made it through. Yeah, tell them we here now. Yeah, on me. Man, I done caught some life aids. I was gone for poor people, was typing first on MySpace. Raised captured, I made a college out of my cage. Raised captured, I made a college out of my cage. And brainstorm through the rain. Before it's over, I'ma hold them for a whole season. I feel like Hova with the low Caesar. Self-made like I'm Black Jesus. Against the odds like a black fetus. Homies be capping like team leaders. Movements egregious, I pledge allegiance to people that listen for keys when they fly and scheming. When you trapped inside that box, you learn to box your demons. Don't let these bland ass people punch you out your seasoning. For any reason. The road, the walk was long. I stood alone on all 10 toes. Paid my dues, I kept it true. They set the trap, I made it through. Was up the road, the walk was long. I stood alone on all 10 toes. My dues, I kept it true. They set the trap, I made it through. We made it through, y'all. Make some noise, y'all. Tell them we here now. Yeah, we here now. Yeah, sister, we here now. Let's get it. You know, let's get it, Gene. We ain't even gonna talk about it. This last song is called Road. It's about celebration. Join this life, cause this life got a limit. I don't take nothing for granted, cause nothing is given, no. We are all running out of time, so I think that we should have a good time. Oh, I just wanna have a good time. Oh, I just wanna have a good. Who need a club when the kickback is cracking? Call up the homegirls and turn up the classics. Backyard is popping like back in the day. I am my ex-girl from back in the day. These are the days. Roll up and turn up the maze. I done live life in the cage. We gon' get through it. Turn up the music and let's all go crazy. Some of the homies that got shot, some of the homies that got locked. Gotta put in their time, so if you wonder why 80 gon' turn up, it's cause puff, we're living like turn-ups. That's investable minds, it ain't no messing with minds. Native Angelino, my celestial tribe. Searching for the meaning, we enjoying the life. And only peace is welcome, we avoiding the strife. When I'm destroying the mic, it's like, God. Enjoying this life, cause this life got a limit. Clap, y'all. Hey. Take it for granted, cause nothing is given, no. We are all running out of time, so I think that we should have a good time. Hey. Oh, we are all running out of time. Oh, I just party so hard, neighbors hoping that I move out. Counting my blessings and I just might lose. People pulled on me, but the gun ain't shoot. Cops let me go like, nah, it ain't you. Since when that ever mattered, that's just God looking over me. Even though what I am ain't half of what I hope to be. I say that openly, cause God's looking over me. Even though what I am ain't half of what I hope to be. So please pardon me if I partied like an artiste with his name on the marquee. I done saw things people dream when they come back from the war on me. Music is the medicine, I'm trying to OD. Dance till it's pain in my feet. Step and rep the city by the sea. Homie, shout out to the beach. If you feel me, wave your hands to the beat. Sing along with me, even if we off key, cause we are enjoying this life, cause this life got a limit. Clap it up, y'all. I don't take nothing for granted, cause nothing is given, no. We are all running out of time, so I think that we should have a good time. Don't you wanna have a good time? Don't you wanna have a good time? I just wanna have a good time. I just wanna have a good time. Say, don't you wanna have a good time? Don't you wanna have a good time? Don't you wanna have a good time? Say, I just wanna have a good time. Peace and blessings, y'all. I hear you over there.
Thank y'all, genuinely. Like, this is always a lot of work. I'm always asking myself, should we keep doing this? Is it valuable? And so I appreciate folks that stayed, folks that came. It's a lot of events tonight. So it means a lot to me, to the whole organization, the work we do. All right, everybody. Well, we will be here next time, and we will be communicating with y'all. If we have anything that we can do or answer questions, please let us know about the work. And as always, we want your money, but we want your access more. So if you have groups that we can talk to, you have places we can go to connect with, that is more important for us, because we want to be able to spread this message, share the humanization of those of us that have been system impacted, and empower folks, right, in a new way that we can look at this work. So again, thank you so much. Drive safe.